of using underhook, we're gonna use overhook today. Underhook is pretty easy. We did that yesterday. Very simple philosophy. Whatever side you're attacking, put the elbow over the shoulder as a principal surface. Start with butterflies. So, underhook version, right? Whichever one you're going, whichever one you are coming over. We don't want to just do this. We want our elbow to come over. So our elbow should be across the body. I should be connected. And I should be able to drive his head down. I shouldn't be trying to drive his head up. If I drive his head up and he comes to look at me, I can't, then I have nothing, right? So we have underhook version, right? But you also have an overhook version, like so, right? And for this shoulder crunch, you don't want to be flat to the person because it does nothing. This is more to the side, like so, right? And if I'm going to connect my hands, I can connect rear naked style. I know that some people like this. This isn't really my jam. I prefer to either connect to the thigh, right? Or just kind of float and touch the pec. I don't like to connect this hand because I like it to be able to build up and to be able to contain the angle. So
first.
What's up?
Do you connect that first?
Sometimes. It depends. So like if we sit up, if I'm here and I get on top, right? I don't need to connect it ever.
Because you have to have control.
No, because I'm able to cut the angle. So here, for me to get, so like I'm still kind of center to him.
Yes.
And you see I cupping my own thigh.
Yeah, I saw that on the out.
So I'll cut my thigh, and like, can you sit up very effectively? Right? So his ability to come to me is the factor. And for him to bridge the gap to where he can basically put his head back in line to me is very hard because both my hip and my elbow are going to stop his ability to do so. Does that make sense? Now, if you need more tension, you can always drive your own head into them at an angle. If you drive straight over like this, you'll do nothing other than allow them to wrap around you. So you're going to drive angular, right? And here you can always either just stand up, leg your weaves, right? Whatever you would like, but I just want you to get basically kind of comfortable getting into the position. So
the main key when you have either one of the shoulder crunches is look at the angle of my body and my arm. It's making like a V, right? If it's straight across, you're not deep enough. You're making a V and it's like that, and then you have control, right? So like look at my, right here, once he comes down, see how my back and my arm are making like a V right there?
You mean like from my angle, I see a V?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
From
From
my
like
back
the across your
and my
upper
arm.
back to your arm.
Yep. And then same thing here. Right? Boom.
Yeah, I see it.
My shoulder is pointed down, my arm is pointed up, and my back is kind of pointed up. That's when you have that control.
You're saying if it's just parallel,
If it's
or
parallel,
less than
here,
parallel, you'll still have a lot of ability to fight.
now I'm getting out of that.
I
If
see.
it's crunch, then you have that. Then you have control.
you essentially want them to be at the point where they want to roll. Like if he was doing a forward roll without me, what does he do? He tucks his shoulder, right? I want him to essentially end up in that positioning, but with something stopping him from doing either looking up or rolling.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
I'm assuming your butterfly guard at this point is helping with that part.
it can, but just for isolation purposes, we can do this standing. So standing, same version, right? I'll be here, underhook version, right? And overhook version. And I use this a lot
You do.
because this is no,
So what I submitted Tony with
it is.
at the turn.
And he used his leggy to get a good deep shouldery one.
Is that a submission?
Can be, absolutely.
It's not a submission.
So, you'll see it very common for 2-on-1. Either people pull away, right? they pull that like body positioning back, right? Which either allows you entry here or they turn away, right? So like that, right? Under hooks, right? So the same thing happens when people are posting on the ground. If you're doing overhooks, right? Overhooking, you want to come from the outside. If you try to go for an overhook on the inside positioning, like so, you're gonna regret that decision.
You're giving me.
Right? Because you're like, haha, I'm gonna get this, right? And it might work if you're like super tall or super strong. I don't like those kinds of things, right? But if we can get it from the outside, right? This is easy. Pull a little bit, see I cut the angle, didn't even have to do much, but this is the same thing. I can step in, I choose, but you see how that angle's there? I can just drive. So we can do it in isolation without being in the down position. The butterfly hooks can help, but they're not the
That's the
thing.
spot you can get that in.
Yeah. So
It's just a form of control of the upper body.
the reason why the overhook is very powerful is because everyone wants to get an underhook. Right.
They will try.
Everyone's digging for an underhook. So if I'm here like this and I go like this, he just put his whole hand in there for me. That's why it's powerful, right? For underhooks, I have to fish for them, right? I gotta be. And you see how? What did he do? He entered this for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, you most of the time will not have to fight for this overhook. You're gonna have to fight for the positioning for it to be good, right? For you to get an overhook is child's play most of the time. Because people are gonna be like, think, and you're like,
They won't taught get the inside
One of my
position.
favorite positions for my guard. If I can get an overhook, I'm gonna submit someone.
can you do this overhook for me? Alright, so I want you to watch when he does this overhook though. Watch his body positioning. See how he is not flat. See how his guard, right? AKA his hips and everything, you see them here? They are not underneath me. The floor is underneath me. This is why it has power. So just keep this in mind, even if his legs started originally or wrapped around me, right? This is how he's gonna play the guard. You see how his knee is on my back, being able to brush me down or any of that kind of stuff, right? All these control and drive my posture. This is what gives it power, right?
This.
It's the T.
That. If I'm here, right, and I try, even if I'm butterfly, and I try to go for this, and I'm not angled, or I'm not driving my shoulder down, I'm in trouble. He's gonna flatten me out. Now my overhook is worthless.
Would you say then that it's like once the elbow is still in front of the line of your shoulder blades, it's still strong, parallel, still a little bit strong, but then once the elbow's flared back enough above the shoulder line of the
So it does have to do
of
with
your
where the elbow
shoulder
is, but
blades,
his
then it's
elbow is
weak.
parallel, air quote, right?
Yes. Now it's V.
Maybe by an inch, right? So it has less to do with like where his elbow is and everything to do where his shoulder is. Does that make sense? So like I could give a shit less where his elbow is if I get the effect here.
Get the shoulder come forward.
This is about his shoulder. Now I'm showing you using a gable grip just because, and that's an underhook, right? If we do the overhook version, I'm looking for
So
that
you're
kind of.
taking that elbow and kind of like the darts, you're trying to get that elbow.
Yeah, so like if I was trying to grab a Darce,
Yeah.
the only thing that's different here, right, is the fact that his arm's in my way, right, but I'm still. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I'm driving that
Yeah.
elbow to get that kind of control. Questions on this so far?
We got a
Alright.
lot of experience on this one from you.
Yeah? Try out the overhook. I'm telling you, the overhook, slept on dream.
Let me try and see if I can hit the dice on there.
That shouldn't be first goal. First goal should be the underbar.
Hard.
Belly down on it? No, go like this right here. First goal. Just get a little further away. super basic,
Oh,
it's already
just
there,
hit
just hit it, right? You'll hit it a few times and this will tell you whether or not you are actually controlling where his arm is when this is happening. Reason why is because if you are being piss poor about this and you go out and he tucks his elbow, does that make sense? So, it's plenty of time if you know what you're doing.
Here, now I can't rotate my arm.
Now you feel in the space too with your knee though.
Right, and then easy finish.
So the
Right.
knee to elbow plays a big role there.
Oh, of course. So this is the reason why this is important. It's no different than an air car razor lock, right?
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the razor lock, if we try a razor lock and we're like, I'm gonna do a razor lock, and we just pull down, meh, right? But if you go for a razor lock and you roll it, big difference, right? So the same thing's here, right? I'm not just sliding down and like, I'm gonna hit this. You're probably not, but if I roll it,
Mm.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're rolling the shoulder.
Yeah, I am, right? I'm really doing this. Right, so the arm lock is always gonna be there, but that's like superfluous knowledge. We're not doing submissions, we're talking about the position itself, right? So here, I can always, with this overhook, refuse to pinch the shoulder, right? You see how I'm like pinching like this? I can always punch the shoulder, right? So let's say I'm here, and he really, really wants to look up. Cool. Because sometimes you're not going to be able to win that fight, but what you can do is win the direction it's going. Right? Because like I can trying to shoulder crunch, and you're like, all right, fuck it. Right? Because if he wants to look up super bad, and man, this is not worth the energy, right? I can literally just turn and go with it, right? Just taking my hand, I'm gonna put my hand basically to his collarbone. So you do have a nasty finish, but we're talking positioning, right? So put your hand to the collarbone and just rotate and lift your lip, right? And you shouldn't be doing this. You will not win. Always try to pick like the angle, which is going to immediately give you the ability to bridge, right? Anything that gives you more momentum and more directional force in that direction. So I'm choosing that angle. We're not going to go all the way over, but this is what essentially I'm looking to do, right? Here, you see how the angle is not like this?
Yeah.
This
you're
angle's
right.
shit, right? So I'll be here, they start to look up, right? See how the angle's over my shoulder? Are we tracking how that positioning can work from both directions though?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're looking at this, don't ever forget that we can always lift it up, right? We don't always have to be driving down. So even if he's like trying to come towards me, right, and I start to lose this late game, right, the ability to stand up is never lost, right? If I'm down like this, I'm still not lost in the ability to stand up. Does that make sense? Don't just let it go. Now, let it go if your arm gets hiked up and you start to get controlled, right? You don't have to lose it though, right? Let's say he starts body lock passing or etc., right? See how he's flat on me? See how I didn't let it go?
About.
One small adjustment can bring it right back, okay? And here, it's worse than where he was. How easy is it for me to get my top position and either go and roll, etc.? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm.
So if he's body lock passing, his hands are already closed.
Yeah.
You're still pushing that angle.
Yeah.
You can.
The reason why, can you close your body lock on me? All right. So the power of this grip, right, is the fact that it's able to stay closed, right? His torso is only so long. Does he feel powerful like this? His elbow's straight. How easy is it?
He would want to let go.
You're right, he would.
He had a
Because if
post
he
on
didn't,
that.
he's going for a ride.
So it's just like breaking close, but
Exactly.
you're
I'm
pushing that extension.
As
So-
soon as I feel any type of extension in the body lock, I'm letting it go and
Okay.
trying to readjust.
If he can get any type of extension like this, he's gonna break my grip,
Mm.
right? Or I should be letting it go, right? This is no different than closed guard. For closed guard, as you were saying, everything's wrapped around me.
Yeah.
The further my hips get away from him, right? But this is no different than if I got my hips away and then add a little rotation.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the same thing. If they try to body lock us, right, we're just gonna get a little away from them, add a bit of rotation. So you don't have to let it go, right, and you don't have to basically only go one direction with it. It doesn't just have to drive down. It can always go up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, go play with that.